could give it an edge so that any resin I put on the front of this will not go over that line. That's the plan. Hiya, welcome back to my channel. It's Wendy here from Toonpish Crafts and I hope you're doing okay. A little while ago, now we are talking a good few weeks, a company called Istoyo contacted me and said, would I like to try their UV resin lamps? And I said, yeah, okay, I'll try them. It's no big deal. They'd like to know what other people think of them. So yeah, let's have a go. So they sent me their pack of UV lights. Now I did unbox them in another video and I will put that unboxing in this video just briefly because I wanted to try them out for quite a while before I gave you my honest opinion, because you do need to do that. You can't just open the box and say, oh yeah, I like that, it's good. You need to try them out. In the meantime, Istoyo also sent me some really nice mica powders, which I haven't even opened yet, but I think they're going to be amazing. We will find out on that one. And they also sent me a heat mat as well. So let's have a look at these items for Istoyo. I'll put the links, everything in the description box below, and I'll try them out and I will give you my opinion. So this is the UV LED light set that I deboxed in a previous video, and I've just added it in here so that you can see what was included. It's two lamps together. They're both USB lamps. They both have fold away legs. One obviously is much larger than the other. You also get a mini mat. Now I've used it in several videos. This one was on the 2nd of May and this one was on the 9th of May. So I've had them for a good couple of months and I have tested them to full capacity. But the heat mat I have not actually got out of the box yet. So you're seeing me get it out the box for the first time. And I was quite surprised. I hadn't researched this. I was quite surprised what was in here. A couple of little pairs of gloves. And what is this? I could only think that it was a tea cozy. And it's a little tent to go over the top of your heat mat that's curing. That is really, really cool. There's also a mould in there. Your heat mat that's in there with a rather natty control on the power cable. And the settings are low, medium and high for heat, 2, 4 and 6 hours for time. So that it'll switch off if you walk away and forget it. How cool is that? I really like that idea. And it comes with its own silicone mat to go on top of the heat mat as well. So the price is important, and at this moment it is $29.99 on Amazon, reduced from $34.99. That's in the UK. That's not a bad price for what's in that box. So now we're going to come to the mica powder kit. Again, I hadn't researched, so I had no clue what was going to be in here. We have little tiny mixers, another silicone mat, which is always handy, a mass of colours and a mixer. The mixer takes 4 AAA batteries, which I did have in the drawer, so it wasn't a problem. Putting it together was fine. It did go off while I was putting the batteries in. I've always avoided mixers, and the reason is I think they are going to add more bubbles and air than I really want. But now I've got one, I'm going to give it a go. And look at all those colours. And I'm going to use some fast cure Let's Resin. I do have a discount code for that. It's on the screen. It'll also be in the box below the video. So I thought I'd use the mould that came with the heat mat. I've got a rather large Let's Resin mixing bowl here, but I'm only using 200ml of resin. That's 100 part A, 100 part B, so there's not much in this bowl. But I wanted the bowl because I'm going to use the electric stirrer, and I didn't know how that would go. So I thought I needed a larger place to stir, if you see what I mean. I did this very gently. But I figured that I needed to help it put less bubbles in there than it could do. And this was the result after 3 minutes. I did ask the Alexa lady in the corner to set a timer for 3 minutes. I did scrape the sides, and to me that seems full of bubbles. But we'll see.
heat mats on for 2 hours, low temperature.
So the plan is to use every one of the 30 colours in this mould. There are more than 26 pieces in this mould because there's random items at the top. It's not just 26 letters. So I'm going to make use of all 30 colours. I'm going to do a few in clear resin because I need to know if these bubbles are going to come out of the resin. So yeah, that's what I did. Every letter and every piece, apart from the clear ones, was a different colour. And I'll go through the colours later on in this video. I made 3 batches of a small amount of resin. Every time I mixed them with the mixer so that it was fair. A fair outlook on the mixer, a fair outlook on the heat mat, and a fair outlook with the colours. To be honest, the mixer was the one thing that was worrying me. But it was there, so I had to try it. Once they were all done, I popped on the tea cosy, the little hood, and I left them to cure. So I thought I'd show you what the heat lamps were like, and I grabbed a rather large wolf tattoo. I put double-sided tape on the back, rather too much to be honest with you. I don't think I needed to put that much double-sided tape on the back, but I wanted it to stay flat. You don't need this much, seriously. What was I thinking? Anyway, once I'd taken all the backing off of the double-sided sticky tape, I stuck it to a ceramic tile. That definitely will stop it from curling up. Now I have done things like this with temporary tattoos. These are the sort of tattoos that go on your skin. I have put a video out on these before and I will link that in the top right hand corner, but they were very, very small. This is huge. And I thought I'm going to give it an outline so that when I put my UV resin on top, the outline will stop it from going over the edge. So recently I went to London with Claire and we popped into an art shop and I saw these PBO paints, and this is a transparent outliner, and I thought it would be ideal. I could give it an edge so that any resin I put on the front of this will not go over that line. That's the plan. So I used it right the way around outside of this tattoo and I left it to dry. Now I did leave it overnight because I wanted it to be completely solid and completely transparent. So after 4 hours I checked to see if my letters had cured, and they were completely cured. So I demolded. I've gone through this really quickly with you. All the colours are on the screen. Some of them are absolutely stunning. Some of them are just plain, but the colours are bright. And I just thought you'd like to see all the colours, because that's the important thing with colours, is the colour. So I'm just running through them with you. It's worth mentioning here that I put the same amount of colour in each little pot that I mixed. They all mixed in extremely well. Out of the 30 pieces that I made with colour in them, I saw one that had a little dot of powder when I demoulded it. That was it, one. Some of the colours, the flash colours, are kind of glittery. They're gorgeous. And for 30 colours, at time of making this video, they are £23.79, reduced from £34.10. Now I don't know if they're available in the UK. I have a link, but it seems to be taking me to the EU. I do understand they're available in America though. Now I haven't mentioned it, but in the last couple of days, Istoyo very kindly gave me a 10% discount to forward on to you guys. It's not an affiliate link, I'm not affiliated with Istoyo. They gave it to me quite genuinely on their own without me saying anything, and I really appreciate that because I know pockets are tight these days for everybody. Which ones are my favourite? I really like that. That is one of my favourites. I love the must effect. That's actually really lovely. And that is gorgeous.
stunning colours. Totally clear.
I was totally gobsmacked that the clear was just totally clear, no bubbles at all. Considering how many bubbles were in that resin before I poured it, it was amazing. That's what a heat mat does. I wrote on the back of every one of these pieces the actual colour, and I've kept them in the box with the colours, so I know exactly what colour is what. Going back to the wolf, I cover it in Let's Resin UV resin, completely cover the front. I do make sure it's in all the little nooks and crannies, in all those little spikes. I go over it with a long neck lighter when I've got it completely filled. I then cure it, and I do give it 2 coats. When the 2 coats are done, I take it off of the tile, turn it over and take the backing off. Now, because there was quite a lot of double-sided tape on the back of this, it did take a little time to get through that, to get the water onto the backing. But eventually I got there and it turned out wonderful. So now I have it upside down on the tile, and I'm going to use black vitriol paint to outline some of the details of the tattoo. I want some of them to really show through, because I'm going to put some UV resin on the back and it's going to be coloured or filled with glitter. So I want the outlines of this tattoo to be visible and give me borders so I can put colour in. Once that is completely dry, you can see it shows through quite clearly on the front. Now I have nice little sections to put different colours in. I'm going to use a selection of Resin Supplies Den's glitters. That's Yvonne at Resin Supplies Den. That's a little Facebook group here in the UK. If you haven't heard of Resin Supplies Den, go and check them out. They're really nice people. They sell everything to do with resin, and their link will be in the description box below. And I'm also using this little piggy pigment, which is from Fluid Art, and again I will link them in the description box below. And this colour is Twinkle. It's got all sorts in there. It's not just white, although it does look white. It's got a bit of purple in it. But I've mixed it with 2 different glitters from Yvonne, and I'm just going to go around and make sure it's right up to the edge. Once I'm happy, I cure it. Now here's the thing, because this isn't taped down, it has a tendency to curl. If it does curl, turn it upside down. If you're making this yourself, heat it up with a hot air gun and put something heavy on it, flat and heavy, to straighten it out, and just let it cool down, and that will get rid of your curl. So once I've done the white half, now I'm going to put colour in the second half. I'm not going to put you through the entire thing here. Just trust me that I'm using a lot of glitters and a lot of different colours, and I'm going in between those black lines that I had painted with vitriol paint. This is all on the back. So far I'm absolutely loving it. With each different colour I cured it with the UV lamp. And I did have to correct a curl a few times too. The UV lamps are excellent. They're as good as the machine I've been using for a long time, and that one is huge. These ones you can fold away, you can store them easily, and they're USB, which makes them great. Do wish they'd put a 3 or 5 minute timer on the UV lamps, however. That would be amazing. The heat mat, I love the control on the heat mat. It is just a heat mat, but it turns itself off after 2, 4 or 6 hours, whatever you set it. I love that idea. And the mica powders are just gorgeous. I love the colours. I'm not sure about the stir thing yet. I'm going to have to do a bit more practice with that, I think. Throw me to the wolves and I'll return leading the pack. I thought that was a brilliant saying. I used my X tool to engrave a piece of wood with the moon and that saying, and I've put the wolf next to it, and I think it's turned out absolutely gorgeous. I love working with tattoos. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this one. I hope you got something out of it. Come back and see me next week, because you never know what I'm going to be up to. I never know what I'm going to be up to. Have a great week. Happy crafting, and bye for now.